So this is an instructional video about Quizizz, which is kind of like a different form of Kahoot. It's a little bit different than Kahoot, just another platform if you want to use the interactive component. So what you could do is you can sign up. You go to sign up, look at that, easy as pie. You can go to Google, sign in with Google, obviously, go there, blah, blah, blah. I've already created an account. This is a strictly non-paid account, so you will get everything that I can see and you get whatever you see on my video is what you will see. So here I don't really have much that I've created on my own, but you can kind of see what it looks like. So you can do a lesson. So when you do a lesson, there's slides that you can include. Look at that. Look at that. You can import from Google Classroom. Okay. So let's just say I want to use something from, oh goodness, you can see what let's do this, a Quizlet to Note. Let's take a look here. It's going to upload that Google Drive. So then you see all the different slides. You can say which slides you want. So like, I don't want this slide on there. Oh, maybe I do. I don't want this slide on there because that's already the video that you've seen. So like I can include material. I'm going to import. I've taken out some slides that I don't want. So then think of this as kind of like using an interactive tool with Google Slides. So like, oh, this is something I want to present to my students. So I've got this. Now I'm going to do a slide where it's a question. I'm going to say, how much do you hate the HF 2353 law for ripping Quizlet away from you? Not at all. I'm a little miffed. This is upsetting. My life is over. Boom. So then, like, this is not, I have to have a correct answer here. So this is probably not a good question to ask because it is actually, look at that, they're all correct. If you're going to do a poll, probably not a good idea. You could do instead, it does have a poll option here. But what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is that, like, I've got this slide, so then when with my students, I just want to check for understanding, I can see that here. Then we go to the next slide, oh, Quizlet, doing that. Here are the options that you have. I could ask, what is the name of a flashcard alternative to Quizlet? So for this, I want it to be exactly Note, just like that. So it asks you, like, oh, it needs to have exactly this, contain something like this. And if it's a number, you could ask the number. If there are other answers, you could say, like, perhaps someone spelled it like Note, because that's how it sounds. Say something like that. So you've got a whole bunch of options that you could do here. So it's just checking, be like, were you paying attention when I showed you or walked through this? So it's telling you, hey, you can use this as a way to present your slides with checking for understanding in it. So it's kind of like Pear Deck, a little bit like Nearpod. It just is, you don't necessarily need a subscription. Some other things you can do, if you take a look here, you can have students draw something. So you could say, like, draw your face when realizing you can't use Quizlet in class today. So then, I want the students to just draw. So, like, when they draw, it's going to be like this. Some students might draw lots of crying. Some students will just So there's a lot of things, like you can actually ask students to, like, I know it can't do for higher level math, but you could ask them to, like, show an equation or what would be the correct way to solve how would you express this fraction in a different form. Obviously they can't do functions particularly, but they could kind of, right? So they could do a bunch of stuff. So it's just an option. And remember, this is totally free. It's absolutely free. So unlike Nearpod, where you sometimes need a subscription. Unless, yeah. Anyways, so going through this, these are all things that you've seen in my slideshow. And so you can go through, so this is what a lesson looks like. So if I'm like, Quizlet note lesson, boom. Now you can preview what does it look like for a student. So you can kind of see when students see it on their screen, what's it going to look like? What does it look like for students when they get a question? So I'm going backwards. I know that's not very helpful for you, but like that's what it would look like to a student. Okay. So boom, you got that. You have all these different options. Now I could also just create a quiz. So the quiz could be, I'm just gonna steal a quiz. Boom. I'm going to add all 15 of these questions. This is from the library that has that it's public for all people that use Quizizz. But boom, you've got this. You can tag it to a standard if you want to. You could say, oh boo, never mind, you can't because it's not paid. But and it's telling you like, oh, here are some things you might want to add a quiz image, like. Are you serious? Do I really need to do that? I need to title my quiz English Stuff. I'm just going to add English. Boom. Let's do that. Look at that. It's awesome. Beautiful. Now it says I'm 100% done. I can review what all these questions are. I didn't even look at this quiz. Hopefully it's nothing terrible. So we can preview it. What does it look like? I am taller than, oh, it's not letting me, boom. So you can see like what it would look like for each kid. It's not letting me actually go through the process, but it's letting me see what does it look like when a student sees this. So then, oh, it's got that. Save it, done, done. What does this look like when you actually do a quiz? So let's start a live quiz, right? I can do instructor paced, which is like the original Kahoot where you do the questions together, or you can do classic where kids are kind of doing it at their own pace. And that's why when the kids are doing it on their own pace, they get 30 seconds per question, and then it moves to the next one. I'll show you what instructor pace looks like. Here's these other different options. I don't know, name factory. Participants can only use fun quizzes oh, gotcha. So like if you want to know who the students are, obviously don't do that. Otherwise it's like the randomized names on Kahoot. So you've got timers, you can show the leaderboard, answer options. So it's not as robust as Kahoot's, but it's pretty decent. So we're going to go through here. So then what you would see, what a student would see, kind of looks like this. So there's a lot of different ways that they can get, like they can go to join my quiz, enter, or you can share it in any one of these ways if you just want to get it done and ready to go. Again, this is on the free version, just being aware of that. You can put it on your stream, copy the link and just put it on the stream. But kids can go, and it functions just like Kahoot, right? So what the other thing is that, so that's if you want to go step by step, like the original Kahoot. Otherwise, you can do the classic. And under classic, that's at your own pace. So the classic version, you can have classic where it's just one person, or you can do a team. Okay, so you can decide how many teams. It's, again, functions like a lot like Kahoot in that Kahoot does not give different answers on all devices. It's just the same question on all devices. So people could get, it depends on how you're functioning, how that group type of system works. You could do a test. So this one is, I'm less familiar with this one, but think of it as just an assessment that you're being scored with. And some of these are like, think of it as kind of like it's a formative assessment, not formative the program, but formative as in like, I wouldn't put grades in there with this, but if you want students to quiz themselves, you could do this. So I haven't used the test as much, but it's an option. Students must use their names. Obviously, you don't have the focus mode on because you can't. Yeah, you need to have a certain level of security there, or a certain assessment, or another. You need a certain sign-on or subscription. Sorry, jeez, can you tell it's almost MEA? But so Quizizz is a nice, just a different, little bit of a different option. So you can continue. There's no real option for like the kinds of quizzes that you can do. But again, this is at their own pace, meaning you're not kind of like monitoring this. Instead, what you're doing is you're allowing the students to do self-motivated review on something. Well, that's fun. And there's fun. That's so fun. But anyways, so yeah, there's, I don't know if you can hear that, but man, that's nice and soothing. But anyways, that's what Quizizz is. I think it's a really good option. You could assign it for homework. There is, just like you can do that with Kahoot as well. But yeah, Quizizz, it's nice.